the ultimate competition of man and machine. One wild and crazy adventure. Get ready to have your senses put into overdrive as you feel the ground shake. Smell the burning of blown alcohol fuel. Your 1,500 horsepower motors come alive. See gravity redefined. All of the drivers compete for the taste of victory. The louder you get, the harder they go. So get loud and make some noise as we shift into the overdrive monster truck shore.
Coming up next, make some noise for Jared Smith in Cyber Attack.
Coming up next from Georgia, it's his first time competing this year in 2025 for the World Finals competitor. It's John Gordon and Bad Company.
He's the youngest driver in the field. Make some noise for Tripp Jones and Smashosaurus.
Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, one of the coolest monster trucks in all the land. Please welcome Daron, Basl, and Blockhead.
Coming up next, he came out here and brought out that brand new Colossus body. It's Elliott Miller in Colossus.
Coming up next, celebrating 10 years with DCT Power Sports, the toughest monster truck tour champion from Lafayette, Indiana. It's Beck and Crew.
And he hails just a couple of hours down the road out of Virginia. Make some noise for Vowell, the Virginia Giant.
From Ogden, Utah, please welcome Christensen and Vendetta.
here with a brand new truck. Make some noise for David, Olfert, and Dozer.
Coming up next, from St. James, Missouri, one of the coolest monster trucks on the circuit. Please welcome Tim Jones and Tailgator.
Inhaling out of Port Republic, Virginia, in that beautiful blue Chevy, it's Brandon Derrow, Bad News Travels Fast.
Bristol Motor Speedway, one more time. Give it up and make some noise for your Overdrive Monster Truck Superstars. Colosseum
In the blue lane, Dalton Widner, Jurassic Attack.
And on the other side of the track, please welcome Jared Smith, Insider Attack! And starts now! For those of you who saw, Jared Smith and Cyber Attack went off the course. He completely did not know where he was going.
They're coming in. Dalton Widner, Jurassic Attack with the time to beat at a 38.31 right now. In the blue lane, make some noise for Tripp Jones and Smashosaurus.
And on the other side of the track from Georgia, it's Sean Gordon in Bad Company. Second qualifying pass, the rookie against the veteran, Austin. If I was a rookie right now, I would not want to go against Sean Gordon, even though it's qualified.
No, absolutely. But in a way, Sean Gordon hasn't competed in about 9 months at all this year. So it will be interesting to see him knock his rust off of this truck and him as a driver going into this first qualifying pass.
Well, we're going to see. We're getting both of our drivers lined up and say Sean Gordon taking his time, you know, playing a little mind games. Looks like take a look at the video board right now. Look at that, even with the 5-second penalty, Smashosaurus with a 41.46.
In the blue lane, Tim Jones in Tailgator.
And on the other side of the track, please welcome Brandon Derrow and Bad News Travels Fast. More qualifying continues. All right, track is getting ready to get clear. Let's go. Jones and Tailgator having issues. But wait a minute, he's pulling to the pits. He's pulling into the pressure. That's not good for Tripp Jones and Tailgator. Maybe he had some problems on that last ramp. We're winning at the Vowell. There it is, the fastest time, your new time to take over. Brandon Derrow, Matthew travels fast on 36.
In the blue lane, make some noise for Daron Basl, Blockhead.
Coming up next from Michigan, it's Elliott Miller and Colossus. Side by side, we're getting them stage. Both drivers are ready. Watch the area check out the video board right now. 44.53 for Elliott Miller, Colossus, and Blockhead 40.76.
And we were just talking about him, but make some noise in the blue lane with Vowell, the Virginia Giant.
Celebrating 10 years from Lafayette, Indiana. Please welcome Beck and crew.
They're staging at the line, waiting for green.
For both drivers.
It was crazy, let me tell you. I watched Vowell take that far turn, and he might have taken one of the best corners.
I've never seen Cliff Vowell do a nose wheeler like that. I don't think I've ever before in my life. All right, there's the times. Obviously, Virginia Giant with a DNF that we do not finish. And then Beck into our crew with a 45.9.
Mike Christensen, Vendetta.
Vegas returned to Monster Trucks. Please welcome David Olfert and Dozer. Teammates, former teammates. These two were teammates and not no more. David Olfert has joined a new team. And I know Mike Christensen loves for revenge, even if it's a qualifying. Let's go green. Truck Tour. 39.42 for David Olfert, 36.29. I think that is your top qualifier, Mike Christensen and Vendetta.
I think I have the bumper hit.
like Attack the Bird. My side, we are stage. Let's go green! Continue racing, let's go green! Well, I think I got my Christensen too. We're going green. Final contenders.
Make some noise for the hometown boy, Dalton Widner, Jurassic Attack.
And his opponent from Moncton, Utah, please welcome Mike Christensen and Vendetta. It's the clash of the Colosseum. It's the finals in showtime.
Cyber Attack. I think it's going to be a really good score. One thing I wanted to note, you saw Jared Smith have those brakes in the air a lot to set that truck in the air. Kind of a move that a lot of these drivers got from Supercross, where you have the brakes in the air to kind of settle it in that truck to be a little bit more flat in order to possibly get a slap wheel out there. We saw a lot of that out of Jared Smith and Cyber.
Yeah, I was hoping to get that slap wheel and unfortunately not able to get it here in the freestyle competition. There's the score, it's a 22. That is the score. It is Brandon Derrow, and bad news travels fast heading to the line.
up, Harriet, Brandon, Derrow, and bad news travels fast.
That was a great run. Like it was a quick run. There he is. I love bad news of Brandon because his slap wheelies are some of my favorite. I never get tired of a slap wheelie, Austin.
No, I never get tired of those either. And let me tell you, I think Brandon Derrow was a little bit hungry because he was eating up those donuts. He was out there throwing donuts every place on the track. The man must be full.
Yeah, he must be full right now. Now, is there going to be a winning run? Probably not. But he can put up one of the top spots here in this competition. So we'll see if there was a score to take over from Cyber Attack, Jared Smith. But that's just 2 trucks down here in this competition. And it looks like Brandon Derrow is hanging out towards the end there. So he might just be parking up over there to hang out. So we'll continue on Freestyle. Again, we're waiting on that scores to come up on the big screen. All right, scores are in. Let's take a look at the big screen and see what it is. There it is. It's a 21. Not a bad score.
Yeah, right now.
So, we didn't get to talk about it much, Austin and I, but he's only 16 years old behind the wheel.
You wanna watch one more?
16 years old, and he's driving like that. And this is only like his fifth event. You did that good, man. Like, that was a great run. You didn't expect the nose wheeling, did you?
No, I did not expect a nose wheeling, just like the song says. Let me tell you, I'm sure he feels like a rock star right now. And after that performance, I mean, you went out there looking like this guy 10 girls in Tailgator out in that freestyle competition.
We'll have to see what the score's going to be. I predict a new leader, but it's not up to you or me. It's up to judges up in the stands here. Will it be enough to be a new leader and your new score? Let's take a look at the board. 17.
And he's one of my favorites, hailing out of Michigan. It's Elliott Colossus.
introducing Elliott Miller. Dude, what a run. That was top to bottom, the backside on the bus, the donuts, the wheelies, like, that might be the run of the night. What do you think?
So far, definitely think it is. I don't know how Elliott Miller can even see straight right now. He was whipping that truck around so quickly in that cyclone. That was an awesome performance. I'm almost speechless.
It was a great run, but before we go to the score, I actually want to turn our attention really quick. We currently here inside Bristol Motor have a lost child. Her name is Carrie. Her parents are up on the main concourse. Carrie, if you can hear us, up on the main concourse, your parents are waiting for you. So if you see a little girl that's walking around and you can help guide her to the concourse, if anybody sees, that'd be greatly appreciated. And guess what? We have a new leader. It's Elliott Miller.
Coming up next in Overdrive Freestyle is David Olfert and Dozer. Let me hear your Bristol is David Olfert.
Good, solid run out here on the Overdrive Monster Trucks Freestyle course. A very nice job. Great donuts. And little cross-thread action. That's the first time tonight we've seen some cross-thread action. You know what Mike heard his score is when he came around that bus, I had to stop. So that might hurt his score, though. You got to keep that momentum going, Austin.
Yeah, well, it's really hard. We're still getting a feel of what these judges are specifically looking for. You know, we have Elliott Miller and Colossus in the lead with the 30 right now. But out of a possible 40, take a look up at the video where we actually have the scores here for Dozer. And just like you said, Matt, I think
That is going to complete his run. Make some noise for Mike Christensen and Vendetta. Make some noise. When you saw him come down, he tapped the brakes and the way the truck landed, it looks like he better pop the planetary, blew the planetary on that truck. So unfortunately, he can't continue. That sucks, man. That's because he was on a roll, Austin. I feel like he's starting to pick up speed.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate because Mike Christensen came up runner-up in the racing finals. I know he wanted to burn it down in Freestyle, and in fact, he was burning it down, but just, truck breakage, you can't control these things. Sometimes 5-second part that can put you out of competition.
Tough break for Mike Christensen, and then just not his night, made it to the racing finals, but then also having problems with Freestyle with the breakage here tonight. So we'll find out what the scores are from you, the judges, here tonight inside the Colosseum. Man, this place is just stunning with the lights when the sun goes down. It is beautiful here inside of Bristol. So you know what? Before we get to the score, I want to ask you a question, Bristol. Do you want us to come back next year? All right, scores are in. Let's go to the boards. Not much you can do. 14 boys get through. He's coming out to the track. Let's see him. still think Elliott has had the best run of the night so far here in the competition. But again, I'm not the judge. A good run. But celebrating a second and third right there, and Barry Beck and Derrow for a very nice job. What you think of the run?
I think it was awesome. We saw a lot of skywheelies, which we didn't see too much of. Going into it, everyone was kind of trying to go for those slather wheelies and or donuts. And I saw a little bit of everything out of Barry Beck and Derrow, going for those slather wheelies, going for those skywheelies as well. And then finishing off with the donut.
Absolutely, and I think we're about halfway through the field now here of trucks, of Elliott trucks. All right, scores are in. Let's take a look at the board. 28. I'll put him in second Blockhead. Blockhead has been shut down. Now we're going to see if he's able to refire on that last landing over here. Looks like he might have popped the tire here in the competition. We can see one of our track officials running out to the track. Two of them actually, but really quick. Oh, he's got, yeah, tough break. Not much we can talk about. It was a solid run. It's not going to be our new leader, but one thing I want to push really quick before we get to the end of the event here, because we only have a few trucks left. You know, we've talked about the merchandise stand, but after the event, there's a reason for these fans for sure, because all these drivers are going to be signing autographs afterwards, Austin.
Yeah, if you would like to get an autograph from any of these 12 competing drivers, you can head on up to the merchandise stand. You know, we have merchandise stands for all the competing trucks as well as the Overdrive Off-Truck Tour. And what better to get signed than what you see on the video board, the exclusive Bristol Motor Speedway Clash in the Colosseum event t-shirt that you can get signed by all these drivers competing. I mean, that's like memorabilia right there.
Yeah, absolutely. The drivers will be there. You and I will go up and say hi to everybody. Scores are locked in. Let's check out the big screen and see what your fans thought. Well, what our judges thought. Excuse me. 16 again.
Competition. He's wild. He's Tim Jones and Tailgator.
shut down. Nope, he's retired.
Yeah, you know, he's the first one that not only used the ski jump to begin his run, but then he decided, hey, I'm going to hit the other side and go for a little, backflip, little flip there.
That was an incredible run. Now, is it enough for our judges to think so? That is the key here in the competition. We're waiting to get told that the scores are coming in here with the Overdrive Monster Truck Tour. We're not done yet. We still have more to go. All right, scores are locked in. And the score for Tim Jones and Tailgator is... John Gordon, Bad Company.
Wait a minute, what is he going for? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You gotta rest. I don't see it. There he is. I thought he kind of evaporated for a second. That scared me. I was thinking he
We're going to see if he's trying to refire. John Gordon back company. We'll see if he's trying to refire. Oh, looks like he's been told to refire. Is he going to continue on, or will that be the end of his run? Let's hear for John Gordon Bag Company.
You know, we saw some huge hair out of John Gordon and Bad Company, and we saw probably one of the coolest starts to any of these freestyles where he backed it up to that back flip ramp, kind of popped those back tires up. It was bouncing on the front end off the back ramp that we just saw Tim Jones at.
That was the thing that Tom Menz started, you know, here in the monster truck industry. He did a great job. John Gordon Bag Company, again, is it going to take the top spot? Probably not. But it was still a very good run, very nice job. And we're going to keep an eye on the big screen for the scores here in this competition. Great freestyle runs from all of our drivers tonight. But let's see what John Gordon and Bag Company has in store for all of you fans here in this competition. And then don't forget, after the event, we still have our driver autographs. You can ride in a real monster truck after the event. Scores are locked in. Let's take a look at the big screen and see. Scores are 32. But in this place, I want standing up. I want you all standing up to salute your hometown hero. I'll see who's coming to the track.
It's Widner, Jurassic Attack! going out there with a super technical run. You know, we saw that kill dragon slap wheelie out there. We saw some big hits. We also saw that huge cross thread with that center tie. But was it enough to top that top score of a 36 that is currently set by our leader Tim Jones and Tailgator? We're still waiting on scores from the judges.
We're waiting to see what the score is going to be from the judges. There's competition going, Widner, Jurassic attack, very nice job. In the freestyle competition. Scores are in. We're going to take a look at the board. The score for Dalton Widner, Jurassic attack is a 30. That'll put him in third place, which means your freestyle champion here tonight. It's Tim Jones and Tailgator.